Well, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm very excited to have two financial advisors who are just terrific with us, Ken Prodger and Scott Gill. They have an amazing practice in Santa Clara, California. So I'd love to have them introduce themselves. And just to let you know, today we're going to be talking about financial projections. How do you figure out how much to leave to a kid with special needs? So Ken and Scott, do you guys want to tell us a little bit about your practice, and then we can kind of dive into the meat of things?
Ken, go ahead. You want to get us started off as the founder
It
of
just turned
Special
out I'm the
Needs?
older one. I'm supposed to know more. So Scott and I were colleagues. We have a boutique financial planning firm for special needs. In fact, the firm is called Special Needs Planning Group, and about 80% of our clients are special needs families. So it's something that we deal with literally every single day. So it's not just something we do from time to time. It's something we do every day.
One thing I will include on that as well, Ellen, is sometimes clients will ask us, are we limited to only working with clients that are here in the San Francisco Bay Area? And in fact, we have clients that are up and down the state, right? Our job is to partner with organizations and families that are in need of specialized services that we provide, and we're not limited geographically just by the zip code that we're in. So we're very flexible in terms of meeting our clients regardless of where they may be. And that is one of the benefits that's come about from COVID and being able to work virtually.
Awesome. You guys are what we call chartered special needs consultants. Is that right?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay. So that's like, just to let people know, that's the designation that I think counts when you're dealing with a financial advisor and you're wondering, do they really know their stuff when it comes to special needs planning? So these guys know their stuff. Okay. So I want to set the stage here for financial projections. So I just had a call with somebody who, really nice guy. He has three kids who are all in their, late teens to mid 20s. His oldest child, a son, has significant special needs and needs pretty much around the clock care. And his two younger kids are off at college, thriving and living their best lives. Okay. So, one question that's coming up with him and with so many of my clients is how much does that disabled child really need? I mean, they want to provide for the child, but they also want to provide for their neurotypical kids. How do we thread the needle? How do we balance it? And also, how do we just make sure that our clients can sleep at night knowing that there's enough in that special needs trust to last for their disabled child's the remainder of their life because they won't be able to work and supplement that. So take it away. Answer that question in 5 words or less. No, I'm joking.
Okay, Scott, you got the first 5 words.
Great to be here. Thanks. Very high five. Ken, do you want to get started, and I'll piggyback on?
Sure. So I think that the big thing is that what we do is that we take a look at the big question that parents have to answer is where's their child going to live? Because that really dictates what those expenses could be. So on one side, if the child is going to live in a group home that's going to be subsidized by government benefits, their needs may be less. On the other hand, if there's some significant medical issues that maybe they want a private pay for, then those needs could be significantly more. So we don't do a cookie cutter approach just saying, oh gee, there's three children in the family, two are neurotypical, one is special needs, we divide the estate a third, a third, a third. That special needs child may need significant more, or it may need significantly less. So we actually have to do an analysis of where's the child going to live and what are those expenses are going to be coming up to. We run projections if the child would be living independently, let's say in a condo or an apartment, and services were able to come in and support that child. But maybe again, there's some medical issues that they would need more sophisticated care. Then we use other resources. National Care Advisors is a great firm to be able to go out and say, okay, this is what that medical care would actually cost. Then we actually have a firm number to be able to plan for. And at the end of the day, our philosophy is that the parents try and pay for those costs out of pocket. And really what we do is once they're gone, the Special Needs Trust would then be funded with the appropriate amount of assets to last that child's lifetime.
So, Ellen, one other thing that I'm going to put in there that Ken was touching on as well is, remember, oftentimes our loved one with special needs may already be receiving certain benefits, whether they are needs-based government benefits or perhaps entitlement benefits from their own work history, or in this particular case, like we're talking about, more likely from the parents' work history, right? And so one piece of the puzzle that we want to factor in is what might those benefits look like, because that helps to offset what could be additional costs that otherwise would need to go into that third party special needs trust to help provide some of those quality of life extras, right? So it's a blending not just of the resources oftentimes that the parents or perhaps extended family might already be wanting to set aside, but then it's let's look at some of these other resources that our loved one may be eligible for off of their work history or other family members' work history too. So it's a combination of them.
Yes, yes, because I know like some families they say, hey, I'm going to put in $5 million into the special needs trust. My kid doesn't need public benefits. I don't want that stigma somehow of, having to rely on the government. And yet that helps the money in the special needs trust stretch so much farther if they are relying on the benefits that their kid is entitled to. It's not even, you have to jump through some hoops. Well, it could be jumping through hoops to qualify, but
Yeah.
but that's what they're there for, right?
Right. And sometimes, parents saying, okay, gee, I don't want my child to be on Medi-Cal or Medicare or whatever like that. There's some like housing programs that's a requirement to get the subsidized housing. So even if you feel, gee, I don't need it, some programs that you may want to have your child take advantage of require that Medi-Cal or Medicare support.
Mm-hmm.
What a great point.
Oh, sorry, just to touch on one more thing, and we can't emphasize this enough. Remember, there's not a specific dollar amount that associates with a family that has one child, two children, three children, right? The whole spirit behind it is it's very unique and it's custom. And a lot of the funding that could go into a special needs trust is not just about the dollar and cents, the resources and assets, but a big piece of that puzzle, as I'm sure you know in your practice as well, is the communication and understanding of values and wishes and aspirations that we have too.
Yes, definitely. I'll write that memo of intent, everybody. Make sure that your successor trustee knows where it's going.
Did you know my mom has a monthly newsletter where she shares helpful information? Click below to join.
Now, when you guys are doing these types of calculations, how long does it usually take? Like from if you meet with a client and you're talking with them and you're crunching the numbers and you're pulling in national care advisors, perhaps, what does that process look like?
I'll start it off then. So we set the expectation with many families when we are bringing them on board to start this planning process. Our goal is to have everything completed within 60 to 90 days, right? Now, with that in mind, okay, this is going to be a series of consultations that we are going to be having, but a lot of it is really dependent upon how organized the families may be. Now, when they're coming prepped and ready to roll, oftentimes from an introduction from someone like yourself or another professional, they usually have the resources that are readily available. Sometimes that's not the case though, right? So we like to set the expectation 60 to 90 days if folks do have all their information available. Sometimes it could take a little bit longer, like perfect example right now around the holidays, right? We have to be flexible with folks depending upon scheduling, upon travel, sometimes just because of health related issues that may come up. But we would like to believe that within a number of months, we can meet with clients to have consultations and come up with a deliverable as to what the next best steps would be for their plan.
Awesome. Now, there may be some people watching this who already have a financial advisor that they love. All right. It happens. In that case, and I'm going to talk to you directly. Please don't feel like I'm trying to snarf you away from your financial advisor. That's not what I'm trying to do. But do you guys work with people who already have their long established financial advisor? Are you able to still work with them and the financial advisor can still keep their assets under management? What would that look like?
Yeah, let me take that. So we actually get referred into families from other financial advisors where they say, look, we handle the investment side or whatever, but we really don't have the expertise of navigating the maze of special needs planning, of government benefits and taxation and things like that. So we work actually with other financial advisors to be able to do that. And remember, we're fee-based financial planners. So much like an attorney, we charge a fee to do the written financial plan. That's half of the equation. And the next half of the equation is, okay, how do we implement that plan? I think it's the same thing as with an attorney. You draft legal documents, but sometimes with the attorney can help you add things to the trust and retitling things and stuff like that. But the main deliverable is actually the written plan. Now, most clients do decide that they want us to implement those different decisions along the way, but we certainly have clients that either they already have a financial advisor or they like managing their own accounts and things like that. So we work with everybody. Our job is to give you a plan, give you a roadmap for the family.
The one thing that I will include on something like that as well is, right, oftentimes it's not uncommon, as Ken was saying this, to have the financial professional already in place that's handling the portfolio. They may have an insurance person that's handling the risk management. They could have their tax professional in there too. Like, again, our job is to be agnostic, to look at all of the moving pieces of the puzzle and to identify how do these pieces of the puzzle fit in, not just as a family, but then under the context of having a special needs loved one, because the rules change. They're different, right? And so at that point in time, when we come up with a plan and a deliverable, what I think it does is it opens the eyes of many families as, oh my, like there is a specialty niche in terms of this type of advice. How do we keep this process moving going forward, right? And that's up to each and every individual to determine what type of path and experience they want to have from there. We're here to help.
That's great. So much of what we do, I feel like, as professionals, is we make sure that the right folks are on the bus in the right seats. And it sounds like you guys really have such an important role on that bus to figure out making sure that this child is protected for the rest of their lifetime. They're not out on the street, they're not subject to financial predators, their public benefits aren't interfered with. And that's really what you do. And so I want to thank you for really focusing in on this work. And we're so glad we partner with you on a lot of matters, and it really is a pleasure. So any last thoughts you'd like to share?
I think one of our big credos is we would be the family's financial advisor, but we're always going to be the child's financial advocate. So we always pencil things, what's in the best interest of the child? Maybe we want the parents to pay a little bit more taxes now so that there's a nice tax-free benefit that goes into the special needs trust and stuff. So we're always looking from the perspective what's best for the family, but especially what's best for that special needs child.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, you guys. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and I feel like this is bringing great value to our audience. So I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
If this video is helpful for you, share it to someone else who might benefit from it.